What's up, y'all? Brave New Wave back with another one. And on today's episode, I'm joined by another very special guest. Ladies and gentlemen, this man is a musician. I'm not just gonna call him a rapper. He's a musician, just an all-around dope creative, designer. The list goes on and on and on. Ladies and gentlemen, I am joined by future legend, Peytonorth. Peyton, how you doing today, brother?
Living the dream. Living the dream.
Oh yeah, man. Hell yeah. So I wanted to start off by saying, bro, like, again, you were absolutely a future legend in your field, not just in music, but in fashion as well. And I just wanted to give you roses early, dog. Wanted to give you roses early because, you know, that's what I started this platform for, was to celebrate and highlight the next up and coming talent in every endeavor. You know what I'm saying? So big ups to you, bro. Keep up the excellent work. Keep up the amazing work ethic. Keep going, keep going, keep going. You're an inspiration, dog.
I appreciate that. Likewise. I've been keeping up with your journey too, man. And seeing you like in your fitness journey and your boxing stuff, that inspires me. Like every time I see you, it's the same thing. So it's likewise.
Thank you, bro. You know, iron sharpens iron, you know what I'm saying? I think everybody, we all need to be that for each other. You know what I'm saying? It's not a competition. It's just, you know what I'm saying? Just learning from each other and you know, supporting each other in every way that we can. Even, you know what I'm saying? Like you say, like with me working out and everything, I do it for myself, but at the same time, it's something that I know can motivate and inspire other people to keep going with their journey and their work ethic as well. So, you know what I'm saying? That just gives me the extra push and the extra drive to get up and keep doing it every day. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I appreciate that. And again, I appreciate you. But to start things off, I want to go back to the beginning, right? In your earlier days, what ultimately made you decide you wanted to get into music?
Music, man, that came about really like in the shortest version I could tell you is I didn't have anybody to talk to. My parents were always fighting, and I moved up and lived in my attic because I didn't want to hear that shit anymore. I just was tired of that and felt like I had no one to talk to, and didn't want to express myself in the way that was like easy or politically correct or the most palatable way to express yourself. So I felt raw emotions and I wanted to express it in that rawness.
So you felt just raw emotion and felt like you had a story to tell based upon your experiences. Was there a point where you decided, okay, this is something that I'm going to share with the world, or is that something that basically just kind of came along later on? Like when you were recording at first, was it just like simply an outlet for you to express yourself, or was it always something that you like decided like, okay, this is something that I'm gonna share. I'm gonna share my story. I'm gonna share my journey, and I'm gonna help others cope with, you know, the same situation if they're experiencing that as well at home.
It's evolved. At first, most of my music started off as self-talk of like that's how I talk to myself of like um really just something I could play that's like just like a voice memo to myself, but in a song and like motivate myself. And now as I've evolved and found, I've always had the why, but as that has evolved, it's not about me. It's I'm here to unify people through art. That's my mission. That's my purpose, and that's what I live to do. And now I just look at myself as the vessel that channels a reflection of energy, a reflection of you, a reflection of me, a reflection of so and so, a reflection of the world around me. And I'm just a vessel that transforms it. Like one of my favorite quotes is, um, like the light is the message, I'm the vessel, I'm the envelope, and my talents are the mailman. That's all. I'm just delivering a message.
And that's some real shit, brother. That's some real shit. And I'm glad to hear that, because a lot of times when you speak to artists in our age group, it's not as fleshed out as that. You know what I'm saying? It's not as, and not to say they won't get to that point. You know what I'm saying? But it's always usually just like, okay, I'm just doing this for fun, or like, you know what I'm saying? They in it for like monetary reasons. It's not always it's not always something of substance. You know what I'm saying? So again, man, for you at that age to have that sort of like insight and have that sort of perspective on it, man, that says a lot about you, and that says a lot about like you as a creative. Again, so tell me about your first album, Timeless, right? So all of this ultimately culminates in this just absolutely amazing project, right? And for you, when you dropped that album, what was that like for you? Like just seeing everything come together, right? Seeing like the track lists, the blood, sweat, and tears put into the music, the curation of it, the everything down to the album art, and even seeing your baby per se on like streaming platforms like Apple Music and Spotify. Was that like a big moment for you? Like, okay, I'm really in this shit, or was it kind of like one of those things where, okay, I've done this, I got this out the way, now I need to keep going and move on to the next thing? You know what I'm saying?
It felt great to have it like a completed thing done where I hit submit. That was a great moment. And when I felt like when I announced it, that was cool. But I don't like it. Like I listen to the songs, and I've had different favorite songs from that as life has evolved, and that whole thing told a story about my life. But it's on to the next. Like, okay, cool. Give yourself a pat on the back. You did that. What's next? You know, like it's cool
Yeah.
to listen to it, and I like when other people played the songs to me, I'll listen to it with a different ear, almost like as if I'm listening from their perspective of maybe what they got on it. So I'll get that out of it. But like I listen to the album as my own self-talk at times, but then the other, it's like you only as good as your last game.
Yeah.
So what's next? What you about to do?
Yeah. So you saw it as like, okay, this is done, this is cool and everything, but it's on to the next. So there wasn't like at least a little bit like that moment of like, okay, let me sit in this for a little second. You know what I'm saying? Like let me like kind of enjoy the fruits of my labor, right? Because I think a lot of, especially our generation, again, like a lot of times, like we don't, like we accomplish so much, dude. We accomplish like really amazing things, but we never think of it that way, or we don't realize it until probably later on in life that like this thing that we did, even though it might seem like small to us at the time, like it really is like something really astonishing. You know what I'm saying? Because think about how many people just have the failure to start. How many people have the thought, but they don't act on it? You know what I'm saying? Like, and not only did you act on it, but you acted on it in a really big way. So it wasn't none of that. It wasn't like any, like, again, like just like, damn, like let me live in this for a second. Or it's just always like, okay, we got to keep going.
Well, what I did was I dropped the album and then spent the next year putting a music video out for every song. Like that's what
Yeah.
put. That's whenever I'm rapping the movie, and then I make the song, hear the song, okay, that's dope, and then doing the video, that's whenever it brings it all together. So like the living in it came every day that we shot a video or planning the videos or directing that. Like it was like I got to make that, and then me living the moments of them recording, hanging out the fucking Mercedes and like with shotties in the
Yeah.
back in front of the dome. Like, yeah, we living in it. That's what that was.
Yeah, I remember that too. I remember that stood out to me, bro. Like just again, like the videos that you shot, a lot of other artists out here, it's like you seen one, you seen them all, right? They're kind of all just pretty generic. Like there's no like real thought into it. Like they don't tell a story. It's just like, okay, let me like be flashy right quick. You know what I'm saying? But you actually thought of a storyboard that you like caught it, kind of like brought it all to life through the videos. And I thought that was real dope. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing about me, bro, like I love a good visual to go with the music. You know what I'm saying? I love that. It just gives the project a whole new energy. Like, cause now you got, you know what I'm saying, you got a picture to put with the song. So I wanted to big you up for that as well, because I mean that was like a really big deal to me, bro, and it was really refreshing again to see somebody from down here, somebody in my age group that really put that thought into again the art. Speaking of living, you have a clothing line now, right? Living the Dream. Well, not just a clothing line. I saw like you making pillows and all kind of other shit. Tell us more about Living the Dream and how you came up with that concept.
Man, the living the dream concept came around the time of 2019 and around of like I was at a very low point and somebody told me, a friend was like, just say the words, I'm amazing, I will do amazing things, and nobody will stop me. And I'm like, yo, dude, that's so lame. Like, what the hell? Like, and he's like, okay, if you're really at the low point, then you got nothing to lose, right?
Right.
But not just say it in the shower, like I'm amazing, I do amazing things, nobody will stop me. Then I just say it in the car, and then I figured out like every time I have a negative thought, speak that out loud. So, because my mom told me a positive thought doesn't beat a negative thought. The only thing that beats a negative thought is positive action. So I'm actively saying to beat a negative thought. And like that came through living the dream is not whenever you're just at your highs or at your lows, because everything is relative. Everything is what you make it. So if you look at your one of the like greatest things that hurt you in life as you're gonna get better or you're gonna get better. And living the dream is looking at the upside of every opportunity, every situation of how can I do this? And something that's like popular slang to talk about is something called toxic positivity, where it's like you almost don't even act like anything is wrong. That's not what the fuck it is. It's like I knowing exactly what is wrong and running straight through it. Like I'm going to overcome this. I'm going to channel this energy. It's not even like I'm not gonna hide away from it or act like it doesn't exist. I think that by definition, that phrase is an oxymoron, but just for conversation's sake, it's a good like term to talk about to identify when people act like negative shit doesn't exist. The point is like, yes, the negative shit does exist. The positive, it does too. Which one do you lead with?
Right. That's a really good point, man. Because again, I think that's not talked about enough either. Is the fact that it's okay to be not okay. It's how you deal with it that matters. You know what I'm saying? Um, that's crazy. I have actually a therapist coming on for one of our future episodes, and I was gonna expound more on that with her. So I'm glad you touched on that right quick, because that's something I feel like again it's not talked about enough. But earlier in the interview, I mentioned how you just have like this amazing, like inhumane work ethic, right? It's like you're very consistent with the music. You're very consistent. Again, with your clothing line and everything, you're very consistent with the content just in general. Where does that come from? Like what drives Peytonorth to say like, okay, I'm gonna drop this many songs in a year. I'm gonna do all of these events because you at all the showcases, you performing at all the clubs, all the parties. Like I see you on social media, you know what I'm saying? Like where does that come from?
I want to feel this life. I want this life to feel me. And like, if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. I don't like when they say, well, yeah, that's you can do that, but I mean, you gotta like get a job, like do it. You gotta
Yeah.
like whatever. Fuck that, man. I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want to do with this life. Like
Word.
anybody else that has been on this life, been on this earth, that is older than me, is still on this planet with me. Like every single great idea started from the vision of one person or the mind of one person. So like you giving me your perspective, I value it. Okay, cool. Other people that are successful that have been where I want to be, I listen to that. But at the same time, I'm my own person. And fuck like anything else that's saying I need to conform to anything. Or that and the work ethic comes from I'm just doing what I'm having fun. And if you find joy in things you don't like, then you can enjoy the things you do like that much more. And I just fell in love with the process of all of it.
Hell yeah, bro. Hey man, listen, you hitting the nail right on the head, bro. Like nothing else to say to that one, dog. I really hope everybody listening and watching this, man, like take what this man is saying and like really apply it, dog. Like take what this man is saying and really apply it. Cause I mean he's dropping jewels after jewels, bro. Again, big ups, dog. So you're saying your drive ultimately comes from you took your life, you took everything into your own hands and said, I'm going to live the way that I want to live, and I'm not going to conform to anything that anybody else has to say or feels that I should be living right now.
I wouldn't even say it's like because whenever I point to myself and say that is and feels ego driven. I look at things about like what's the Peytonorth. This is like the example. The Peytonorth is the most successful, the best, the highest self. Like what would 44-year-old Peytonorth that is in the best, whatever the fuck that means, telling me that I should do right now? And like my higher self is like, what is the overall mission? To speak my soul through art, to unify people through positivity. So like I took my life into my own hands with that power. But like I said, it's not about me and what Peytonorth wants.
Right.
I, of course, have my own actions and make my own decisions, but it does come from a place of I'm just making art, but it's not about look at me, I'm dope like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That makes sense. Real shit, bro. Real shit. All right, Peyton. So we're gonna get into the tidal wave segment of the podcast. So the way that this segment works is I'm pretty much gonna ask you a series of like super random questions, and you just answer them as honestly as you can.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So pull this up right here. All right, first question: money or legacy?
Legacy.
Why?
Money doesn't matter. Legacy.
I knew what your answer was gonna be. I had to get you to expound right quick. But yeah, that's that. I want to say 100% of the answers so far when I asked that question has been legacy. So, that's all trend. All right, next question. If you was trapped in a cabin, right, like during a snowstorm, it's gonna be like a couple hours before you get rescued, and the only thing you have is a television and a VCR player, and you can only watch one movie until you know what I'm saying, get rescued. What movie would that be?
Okay, the first movie that came to my mind was Straight Outta Compton. But to be honest, I don't know if I want to watch that over and over and over again. I've seen it, but it's cool. But like,
Yeah.
You ever seen that movie, Mr. Nobody?
Who's in it?
Jared Leto. It's like an old movie. Not an old movie. It's on Netflix, but like 2009 independent film. Every time I watch that shit, I learn something new. So I would say Mr. Nobody.
Okay, Mr. Nobody. I gotta check it out. That's funny because I told myself I was gonna start watching. I was gonna go back and like start watching a lot of Jared Leto's old films. Because bro, that dude is such an amazing actor, and he's kind of like underrated, low key. And I'll get to that too. Like I said, like I just like I was watching it's a new movie called House of Gucci, and he plays one of the Gucci siblings. But you don't know it's Jared Leto. I didn't know it's him until like I read the cast list and then I saw he was in it. I was like, oh shit, like this dude he a really good ass actor. So I said I was gonna go back and watch some of his older stuff. So I'm gonna check it out. Mr. Nobody. All right. Oh, I wanna see what you're gonna say for this one. And this is your opinion. Your top 5 influential albums, or if you can't think of 5 albums, top 5 influential songs. Like these albums or these songs are what helped you become the Peytonorth of today.
Okay, so my personal favorite, not world influential, but just my favorite.
Right.
Dead ass, bro. Straight Outta Compton. Like once I got put on to NWA, I fell in love with Ice Cube and like the rawness, like that we were talking about earlier. Like, fuck you, I don't care. That shit. So I would say that album, that's just like whatever nostalgic. Man, that new Adele fire too. I ain't lying.
Her latest album?
Yeah.
She got
some good songs. Young Thug wearing the dress, whatever album that was.
That was
Jeffrey.
shit. That wasn't Easy Breezy Beautiful.
Nah, that was Jeffrey, right?
It might have been. I know the album you're talking about though.
That was iconic. Like the whole him wearing the dress. I don't personally like. They try to put me in dresses for fashion shows. It's not my style. That's just not me. But like how he did it, why he did it, and the fact he stood on that, that was iconic for fashion and music.
Dude, I remember that shit. Yeah, that was dope because I remember him saying, like, I think somebody asked him, like, okay, what's the reason behind the dress for the album cover? And he was like, I just wanted to wear a fucking dress.
Man,
And that was it.
You said he had an AK under that bitch.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
I was like, man, why you man? Just for fun.
Yeah, I remember that shit. That was dope. All right, you got two more.
I'm gonna just off top, two names that popped in my head is Lauryn Hill and Kodak Black. So or I don't know, man. I do like Michael Jackson. I'd like see that Michael Jackson, Prince. Those are really big influential people to me as far as like how big you can go. That there's no limit, and then there's no stylistically you can be your own magician.
Yeah.
So like that influenced me, but as far as music, like the actual songs, like I really did fuck with the real G Money, rest in power. I liked him a lot too.
Rest in peace, G Money. I actually went to high school with him. Really? Yeah. Yep. He went to Baker Middle and then he went to Baker High School for a little minute. Yeah, rest in peace, G Money. Going back to Prince and Michael Jackson, do you see a lot of your work ethic like as like trying to figure out how to word it? Do you see similarities in your work ethic and theirs? Because I feel like, Peyton, you got like hundreds of songs that are just like sitting on a hard drive somewhere. You just drop shit whenever you feel like dropping shit. And I feel like when it's all said and done, you are gonna be one of those artists where like you're just gonna have like album after album after album just come out even like long after you're gone, because you're gonna have so much fucking music in the vault that like nobody's gonna know what to do with it. Like, so like, do you see similarities in like your work ethic and theirs?
I feel like right now that's giving myself too much high praise. I haven't done anything on that level. I do me and admire them as a respected creative. I don't necessarily look at them above me. I don't look at them as below me either. But I wouldn't say that like, oh, I'm them, because honestly, I wasn't with them on a day to day. But I do look at and compare like Kobe is a big motivation for me of like just do it in silence, just do it by yourself and fall in love with the process like that. Like that's a huge inspiration. He was a huge inspiration, is for me.
Hell yeah, well said. Next question. Are you a drinker or a smoker?
I'm about to roll a blunt, no cap. But sometimes I smoke, but we go through phases. Sometimes I do and then I don't. Depends on the week. And then drink every once in a while. I like red wine and old fashions. Those are cool too.
No Limit Records or Cash Money Records? Are we talking 90s, early 2000s?
Cash Money.
Cash Money?
Yeah.
Why?
Bling bling. Like, I don't know. It's just iconic. You don't get any more. Like, that's it.
Yeah. And there's really no wrong answer for that one, honestly. Like, I just asked that question because it's just they're so similar, but they're so different at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Especially like I said back then, like they just had amazing rosters. They both dropped iconic projects. It's kind of depending on like your specific taste, I guess. Oh, this is a good one. All right, Def Jam or Bad Boy Records? 90s.
Man, I'm gonna say Def Jam, but to be honest, on that one, I really don't have a strong opinion either way.
Mm-hmm. So why is that? Because you're not from New York, or like you just don't have a strong opinion because you're not like that familiar with like
like I vibe with both, but I don't take one hardcore over another. Like, yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Like,
got you. Yeah, when you was like, let's say if you started rapping in the 90s, do you have some like you have one that you would have loved to sign to back then?
fuck no, I don't want to sign to them. I feel like then just like taking your fucking soul than they do now, because like people didn't know you should read the contracts. Now they know you should read them, but still don't.
Yeah. Who's your greatest musical inspiration?
I really fuck with Lil Wayne.
Okay.
I always admire and respect him. Like every time, like they say this about him, and that shit is so true that you listen to a song years later and catch a bar you never got, and it's like, yeah, that's crazy. Like years later, I'm still learning shit. So
that's true.
And yeah.
So just Lil Wayne?
What was the question?
It's who's your greatest musical inspiration? But I'm gonna let you have more than one.
Yeah, okay. I would say like everything. See, my biggest musical inspirations are not necessarily musicians. Like just swagger. Like it doesn't matter. It's like there's the confidence of like James Dean, Marty McFly, Fresh Prince, Michael Jackson, Elton John. Like not all music, or like even actors. Like just that swagger of like, that's how I'm about to say this shit. Is like just how they served them with that look. I'm about to say it like this. And so like I hear music and be like, okay, yeah, that's hard, but I don't necessarily be like, oh, I want to recreate that. So it's like, I respect people in their own field, but I have my own lane.
Got you. That's real. All right, Peyton, you made it through the tidal wave, my brother.
All right.
That was that was pretty smooth, man. That was pretty smooth. Like you didn't miss a beat. You ain't stutter. You pretty much knew. You pretty much knew the answer to all the questions. So congratulations for that. To close it out, onward. What is next for Peytonorth, and where do you see yourself in the next 5 to like 10 years?
Man, keep it all the way 100 with you. I want to be here that long, but my mission and goal is to really shed light on true darkness. And I pray that I live a long time, but I'm not sure how long I'm gonna be here, but I live every single day like I fucking am living here to the last. Because I don't believe we die. When we die, our spirit is just reborn into another form. So I'm gonna go as hard as I possibly can. I wanna achieve, great success and have monumental things, but my energy is already here forever. So this right here is sharing both of our energies and pumping that shit into the universe until the end of time. So it's right. I don't even know.
Bruh. That's probably some of the realest shit I've ever heard, dog. Peytonorth, bro. Thank you so much for joining us today. Again, bro, your inspiration and motivation to not only the people coming behind us, but also to your peers, bro. Take that from me personally as well. When I watch what you do, bro, it just again reminds me that anything's possible, dog. Anything's possible. And I want to again thank you so much for taking the time out to join me and share so many gems on my platform. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't want to do this and just be like another podcast just sitting around talking about nothing. You know what I'm saying? I felt like if I was going to enter this space, I was going to create something that other people could like really learn from. And not just through me, but through my peers as well. Because, you know, it's a team effort. You know what I'm saying? I don't know everything. I don't know everything. I could just tell you my experiences, and you could tell people your experiences, and they could draw something for each and every one of us, and, you know what I'm saying, ultimately live the life that they choose to live. You feel me? So this means a lot to me, brother. This means a lot.
Likewise. Yeah. All energy likewise reciprocated. All that.
Love. All right, y'all. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you for the next one. Thank you.
Living the dream, baby.